Welcome back to the channel, guys. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate you guys also participating, like commenting and watching the video, advising, giving advice, things like that. So we got another topic for you guys today, and we are taking a look at Lawrence Mobile. We're going back 5 years ago, guys. This is a video I made in 2019, right before I quit Lawrence Mobile in 2020, around April. So the thing that the vision the video is going to be not instructional as far as this part here. In a way, it can be, but it's going to be more so of to give you guys who are newer players who really don't get a chance to see a lot of the how the castles looked on the inside of the castle, the inner turf of the castle. Some of you don't really know what that used to look like back then. So I wanted to make this video now. This is when I was back then. This is right before I quit. I probably quit about maybe 6 months later in the game. And so you'll notice in here a lot of the things they didn't have. And what we're looking at today, what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about Lawrence Mobile then, and we're going to talk about Lawrence Mobile now, and what I predict the updates are going to be in Lawrence Mobile. You can see it. You can see the fingerprints everywhere of where Lawrence Mobile is going, what they intend to do. So one of the things you'll see right now as you're looking through me kind of like going through the, inside the castle there, you'll notice you're not going to see a lot of certain types of buildings because back then in 2019, they had just come out with in 2019 the familiar update. So that was the only update that they had had in about 4 years. Uh, I guess it would have been, let me see, I started in 2016, and I think the game started in itself, Lawrence Mobile started in 2015. So they hadn't had the first real update, guys, until 2019. And so we can see in here, you'll notice a lot of the buildings that you guys who are new to Lawrence Mobile, a lot of the new buildings, a lot of the new research, you won't see that in this video because this video is almost 5 years old. And like I said, you'll see the progress that I had to make prior to uh, when I came back in December of 2022. So I was gone for about 2.5 years. So you'll get to see a lot of the level that I was at right before I quit. There's the gear I had then, as you can tell, that I had right before I quit in 2022. So nothing really polished or flashy or desirable about it. There are a few of those champ pieces in there that I dismantled, trying to get one material out of that, hoping that, because when you dismantle, they give you a material out of it. And I was hoping that that would be like a Crimson Mane so that I could isolate, lower myself back down to working on one gear at a time rather than working on multiple of the same gears or the same gear that use the same type of materials and things like that. So a lot of mistakes made here and there, and because you make a lot of mistakes when you really are tired of investing in a game, or you really didn't intend to invest that much in a game, and you really don't pay a lot of attention. So as we kind of like go over, if we kind of like go over the inside of the inside of your castle here, we're gonna look at a few other things first. I guess I'm gonna click on a little bit of the gear that I had then, which I just went over the gear, but we'll go back over it again, I guess. So that's like the best I had right before I quit, guys. It wasn't really nothing fancy at all. And the only thing I did different between right at this moment as you're seeing, the only thing I did different was build or train a few more troops to the point where I was like 2.1, almost 2.2 billion troops. So I added about 500 million might of troops, which is probably was like that million gems and then probably something else, training speeds that I probably had. I don't know how many I might have had at the time. But if you, as we're looking inside the inside the castle, you'll notice you just a lot of things you're gonna notice that are not there, uh, that you're accustomed to seeing that are there now that wasn't a part of IGG back then, Large Mobile then. So this is going to be interesting to see, because when we go to the now, it all makes sense. So as we look around in the castle, if we look around on the inside, you'll notice you don't see any Verge Way. You notice you're not going to see a sanctuary. You're not going to see a lunar foundry. You're not going to see an artifacts hall. You're not going to see any of those things in here. They didn't exist at the time. IGG was in the form of making them at the time. So players didn't have that type of stuff then. You didn't have all of that, and that's gonna help us understand what the game is about. I mean, because when you really understand what the game is really about, what it's based on, what it's founded on, what it's all about, when you really do have that in mind, which I did not have in mind. I mean, I didn't even have the basic mechanics of what the game was about. You know, a war game, strategic game, whatever like that. And most importantly, a risky or a chancy a gamble type game. So there's a lot of stuff there. Of course, pretty much all of that research has been done now, which we'll look at in a second when we go to the now, and then I'll show you my predictions of what I think the next update is going to be in Lost Mobile. It's pretty easy to figure out where they're going. We know some things are very obvious. So there you have all of that. And I actually, since this is an older video, like I said, this video is about 5 years old. I actually wanted to just seamlessly go from this video into just pause the recorder and then, pop up, log into my Large Mobile account on the phone and just kind of seamlessly transition from this old video here to which shows the old Large Mobile account in Castle, and then go to my new one in the game. But the problem with that is the resolution of this video, the orientation of this video, and whatever else, they're not compatible. So if I even though the orientation is correct right now, it's incorrect if you was to watch this video on YouTube. It's actually, the orientation it wasn't properly done right. So if I just try to go to the next video or just go to the next scene, it's going to change the size and the orientation. It will be a very bad sight. So the thing I'm going to try to do is just try to just stay right here on this right here, and then just trans over to switching the camera around a little bit and showing a few of the things we want to talk about at the end. So with that being said, like I said, yeah, you won't see the artifacts hall in there. You're not going to see a Verge Way. You're not going to see a lunar, because they didn't have T5s then. They didn't have astrolites then. They didn't have a sanctuary then. They didn't have a Verge Way then. And keep in mind that all of those things that they didn't have then are the things that they have now that are part of the updates that really only have to do with increasing a person's stats and giving attack boosts or HP boosts or stats and things like that. So, as we're about to see, the only update that they had done at that time was going to be the familiars. And there you have it right there. You won't see any sanctuary in there, guys. There was no sanctuary. There was no troops being saved. So now you have that, but whereas then you did not have that. So how far along are we right now? We're under 10 minutes, so we're doing good. So yeah, there's the inner, that's the whole inner scenery. There's no sanctuary in there. There's not going to be in the whole space in there, the tile of the inner place. There's not going to be any space there. There's not any place in there for. They hadn't put any, other things in there that have to do with the new updates. So the only thing you really had then was the familiar updates. And you keep in mind, guys, as you think of the familiar updates, those in themselves are incomplete. There's quite a few familiars like the Grim Reaper um, that don't have their army uh, talent available yet. So obviously, that's a indication right there of one of the new updates that are going to be coming. So if you're saving rungs for your familiars, um, yeah, you might want to hold on to them. So one of the things I want to show you guys, and one of the things I made a mistake of, like I told you guys in the last video, I used to take my rungs, which you use to max out or level up each familiar. I used to take my runs and I used to fracture them. Anytime I had a familiar that I wanted to level up, like say for instance, I wanted to level up and max out Trickstar here, because maybe I wanted a particular benefit or stat from it. I would level him up, but the rungs right here, I would take those rungs there, and you can basically destroy those, and they'll turn into fragments, which you can use for the top part. For the top part up there, that level 60 max, you can take your rungs at the bottom down here, at the bottom of your screen here. You can take those, you can destroy them, break them up. They will turn into fragments. Those fragments would be used as EXP to be able to max out or move the bar and increase the level of your familiar. So I used to do that. I used to do it indiscriminately, guys. Meaning I used to take rungs from pack 5s and pack 4s, and I'd break them up and I turn them into fragments, not knowing, hey, pack 5 rungs are hard to come by. You don't fragment those. You don't turn them to fragments. You keep those. So that's one of the things that another mistake that I was making, because my lack of understanding, and then my lack of concern. I think when it had to do with the familiars, I was overwatching tutorials and YouTube videos from certain people. I used to watch them all, but a lot of them I didn't really pay them much attention because I really didn't care. Now I care a lot more. I pay a lot more attention, and I'm learning because you guys have helped me pay a lot of attention now to a lot of things that I didn't pay attention to. So same with this guy. So as we can see, familiars is what we'll see is this is what the update that they had. So after about 4 years in Lords Mobile, this was the only update they had. And you got to keep in mind, guys, okay, this is a business. So let's get into what I predict is going to be the next Lords Mobile update. One of the things it's going to be, as we know, every update that Lords Mobile have, IGG is always faced with the task of getting, it's a business. So if the object of the business is to make money. So that's why it's not free to play friendly. And that's why a lot of the updates and things we see have never been intended to benefit the free to play player. At best, it has struggled to keep the attention of the lower level, the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, pay to play players. Those guys who spend, say, a couple of grand a year, or maybe it's the guys who spend, say, $100 a month. So IGG, they're always faced with the dilemma, and they're always faced with, it's not really a dilemma to them. They know the bulk of their sales comes from maxed out accounts, pay to play players who are really either in the middle or that upper tier of pay to play players. So IGG, when you have a maxed out account, IGG has to reach the point where, okay, these guys have been playing now with their maxed out accounts. There's no updates available for them. So we have to come up with new updates that they can invest in, and that they can make that they can invest in, but that also makes them more dominant and more admired. And also is for IGG to help them increase sales tremendously to keep the game going forward and elevating, or to keep the game relevant, should I say. So the thing that IGG has to do is, they have to be like, okay, they'll compensate with what we're seeing now with a lot of they'll compensate as we see now. And I want to back up just a little bit, guys, because I don't want to be stuck on that screen for a second, even though I'm about to transition a little bit. So what IGG has done is IGG has done a lot of collaborating. Every little twist, every little turn, everything IGG does, whether it's promotional, collaboration, an event, a new wonder battle, or like they're doing with the Emperor things now, and uh, all those extra wonders and forts in Emperor and in Chad and Chandis, or whatever it's called, Baron, all those little extra things there, they give extra little gems, but that's for the elite, the upper level players, and the mid level, the mid to upper spenders, people that are spending, from 100K a year, 200K a year to a million on the game, guys. I mean, so what IGG has had to do is they've had to compensate or reach some sort of middle ground, or basically a holdover, stalling, to keep the players with something to do. Because if you're a maxed out account and you're maxed out for 2 years, and I mean, what's it worth playing? You're doing the same thing over and over again. You're facing the same situations. You're facing the same obstacles, the same challenges, the sameness every day. And so players they need something to look forward to. They need goals. They need something and some reason to log on to. They need something to pursue. Players are going to need, they're going to need basically a reason to log in, something to look forward to, a goal. So that's why they're doing what they're doing right now. Uh, in the meantime, in the interim, prior to the next update, is a lot of collaboration, which not only promotes their business, uh, but also it's little ways that they can satisfy the big pay to play players, while they wait anxiously and patiently for the new updates. So, uh, so going back to the previous updates, and let's get into a little bit of this. Now, I'm going to be showing. You'll still see the main screen there. Uh, you'll still see this main screen right here on the screen, but I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to look at the my computer, which I'm still working on that, guys, as far as trying to get my computer to work and interact with a screen recording or recording app in general, video and screen recording app, so that I can do videos from there. So I'm going to turn this camera around, and we're going to get into this. So one of the things, as I was saying, and it does lag because just I don't have the right graphics on there. I don't have the right update. So I wonder, does this here 120, it's 120 plus 8 going to that, there's 3 going to that, 40 days, 120, 160, and then this doesn't really even count. You get 160 days for $39. Is that better there, guys, or is it better to get just the is it better just to get the is it better just to get the What we got going on here? I guess I'm already there. Is it better to get that, or is it better just to get? Let's get here. You want to go to War Essentials, right? Or is it better to get Might Upgrade? It's better to just get something like this, where you get food and you get days. I don't know. I think I've done it before, and I've thought that this was the best. Of course, I don't need training any troops, you know, at all. Okay, let me stay focused, guys. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about was I wanted to go to the, and here's the difference that you're going to see now, guys. Here you have right here, this building here was not in 5 years ago when as the building you see in, here's your research, and right next to research, that's right before the battle hall or whatever that's called. Then you have this verge here, which you don't see in the picture in the video on the screen there. You don't see that there. It doesn't exist. And then the lunar didn't exist, as you can see right there. It doesn't exist right next to the verge hall, right next to your watchtower. And then right a little bit of ways with that, right next to your prison, right behind the prison, you're going to see your artifacts hall. I can push play there so we can get a little bit more view there. Right there. So right there you see that right behind that is the artifacts hall. And none of those buildings were there in 5 years ago. Only thing was there is what we see right here, which is your familiars. Now, as I was saying in familiars, guys, here's one of the things I was saying about familiars. I used to take these rungs here, and I would those rungs there, I would take those and I would turn them into fragments, shatter them. But the rungs are what's needed to upgrade and max out. You need those. You need levels of them to max out your. Let's use right. Let's go right here. Let's use this guy here. You need those rungs. He's maxed. Let's use let's just use. I want to use one that I want to use. Let's just use this one because I know I'm working on that one. But you see that I have 84 rungs. You need 200 to max this guy to level 50 to get it to adult state after that. So I would take these rungs here and I'd shatter them just so that I can use it as EXP. I need to get this out the way up here. Bing. I would use that as EXP to, from the fragments that you get from the rungs, I would use those fragments there, because that's what those rungs turn into when you break them down. But your rungs are so important. I know that now. I didn't know it 5 years ago, and I didn't know it when I came back in 2020, 2.5 years later. So the updates, as you can see, guys, these updates, all the updates had, and they still have, boosts in stats. Every update has something to do with some sort of boost, whether it's a research boost or a training boost or a construction boost or a gold boost or resource boost, or what most people desire, some sort of attack boost or HP. So this is all, guys, this is all associated with more research. And one of the big updates that Lars Mobile, I predict, is going to come out with, as you can see, the Grim Reaper, this familiar right here, when IGD did the familiar updates, they left this out, the army talent. It has, everybody loves what it has. It already has the Kiss of Death. And it has range HP. and then it also has some travel speed boosts. So everybody, it's a really great familiar. It's a really great pack 5, but everybody knows when everybody knows, and they're waiting on this next update here because there's several familiars that do not have army talent. So IGG saved the best for last because everybody's already been tripping on. They've been really falling foot over foot with the army talents of, let's say, the Blackwing. I know I clicked that right. It's just lagging. So yeah, I should have had way more Blackwing rungs by now, but I fractured up. Yeah, so many of them. So the Blackwing army talent is, it deals up to 600% damage based off your initial range to one of the largest enemy squads. That's one of them, but it also has the regular skills boost of your invading troops automatically kills 100% of your enemy's wounded troops. So it doesn't leave anything wounded. It's all dead, all reds. So as far as I'm saying, what I'm saying is IGG is cooking up for their next update. They're really you got Brutal Bunny here. You got the escape. There was no leader escaping in 2019 prior to this update here coming out. There was no getting away for free. This is something, if you look at the familiar updates, if you look at that, the familiars, when Mars Mobile came out with the familiars, this wasn't a way at all, guys. This was not a way in any shape or form to balance pay to play and free to play, or to close the gap and to kind of balance it and make it the game more fair. Updates like these encourages rally leads and people who have this pack 5 familiar to spend more money, because those skill stones and things like that it costs to use this skill effect costs money. And it also benefited the pay to play player because it gave him an opportunity, if needed, that he could, without concern or regard of getting his leader captured, he could get a free hit. So the thing about the updates is what I'm saying, guys. The updates, and there's the army talent there. Now there are certain other ones also that do not have the and I'm going to show you another one. Titan, the Tendo Titan doesn't have an army. It doesn't have talent currently unavailable, but it's coming, guys. And as you can see, I'm holding on to my rungs. I'm going to upgrade this one, but right now I'm not really interested in any of the skill sets boost that it has. It has infantry max HP, but other than that, it doesn't. And so IGG is waiting to come out with a army talent for. So that's something that's going to be for your army to be able to use. And it's more likely it's always a attack something. Let's look at the Bon Appetit and the skills that it brings. Stores resources, adds to your rally or your coalition, and then it has infantry attack, and then the army talent is it deals 600 damage based off that. Now they have the other army talents in here of the familiars that deal better than that. They deal with let's find it. This one here is one, both from anywhere in the Frostwing, or either one can be the thing. This is a really good one. Deals damage. This is the Stinging Swarm. Deals 150% damage every 4 seconds. That's a really good familiar to have in there, period. And then, so that's you guys see what I'm saying. What I'm basically saying is the update that Lars Mobile did, it wasn't any kind of update to favor the middle guy, or the low spender, or the free to play player. It was towards people who had the finances, who are pay to play. It was a business move from IGG. So that was one of the updates that they did. Now, another update that Lords Mobile did is with the Astrolites, as you guys know. So this here is another update as well that they came out with afterwards when they done the other one. So every update that we see, Astrolites here, as you know, these Astrolites, these artifacts, I'm sorry, not Astrolites, guys, I apologize. The artifacts here, Astrolites is another one we're going to get into that they came out with. So, as I said, I predicted on familiars that the next familiars that come out are really going to be desirable army talents. And who knows what kind of rungs it will take to get them to max those out and to have those army talents or stats. So here's another artifacts boost. When you max this stuff out, you see that it gives you so much more strength, 24 per strength with your leader. I mean, this guy, this artifact boost, I mean, when you look at just regular heroes, guys, when you compare that to a hero boost, a hero stat, when you compare that just to a hero stat, guys, let's go there. Of just purchasing a hero, not just a 60K hero. I don't think I have any of those in my, let's look at this guy. Here is a hero that has a boost of, where's he at? A 60% range attack, 24% when it's purple. But this familiar, that artifact boost, this one here, man, that's 24 with your leader. That's 24% more army attack. When you add up all of these, I'm not sure, I've not done it, but if someone would do it, there's more infantry attack there. When you add him up, that's 16%. Those just having these two right here blessed, that's 40%. And this is artifacts, guys. This is a pay to play type of expense. That if you got the money, you can max out all of these blesses. We see a lot of the castle skins on a lot of players. They have a lot of those things maxed out. Here's another one that is a infantry. If you max that out, that's another 24%, guys. So altogether, you see right there, that's 48 plus 16, that's 60. That's equivalent to 11K hero boost. Not to mention you get cavalry in this one and range HP, whereas in the other one you get another cavalry attack of 16%. So the artifacts was such a yummy way, because if you look at it realistically, that was I looked at that at 3. If you look at it realistically, those stats are worth more than 11K hero. Just having those four, and there's much more. I don't know the overall how much stats that can produce in itself, but we know players have went from, because before the update, it was normal for a rally leader, strong rally account, a maxed out account back then, to have about a 800 to a 1,000 attack boost or stats. Whereas nowadays, it has doubled. So those attacks in themselves was IGG's way of, I mean, how do you come to terms with or reconcile that the game hasn't advanced good enough for the free to play or for the low spending player? How can you justify giving a castle or a player, because he spends money, twice as much power, twice as much attack boost and HP and all those other things to make it leader escaping. I mean, everything that the spender needs to dominate the game more. So it's like IGG, how can they justify that? So uh, that lets you know right there that the updates that IGG is doing, and like we said, they came out with also T5, and that requires Luminous. Luminous here is Lunar, but it requires more. Everything requires more time-consuming research, guys, which requires a lot of resource. Here's right here. When they came out with that, it required so much more research. So you had a whole nother tree for just to get T5. This was expensive, guys. And this is not something a mid spender or a free to play player can get. I mean, it takes years to get T4s free to play. And even if you're paying, especially back 5 years ago, guys, when you didn't have all these 2-for-1 packs, you buy one, get one free, and all these other little specials in a diamond shop and all these other little ways like Amazon and Huawei and all these, them things wasn't really back there back then to get packs cheap. I mean, you really had to use like a hacker or something else to get some free gems or something to get this stuff. It took time, guys. It took money. So now you have this. Now, so what IGG did when they came out with T5, they knew that it was already a problem when it was time to make T4 for free to play and pay to play. That was so overdone by ID. So they said, we're not going to make 100% the exact same mistake. So what we will do is what IGG added, in a sense, it wasn't for the benefit of the free to play. It really helped the pay to play more because they came up with the Techno Labs. Where's it at? Right here, Kingdom Labors. So they came out with this Kingdom Labors, and this in turn was able to give players this to get those research for your T5s and other researchers, familiars that they came out with to make things a little bit quicker. And they do speed them up. I'm talking about tremendously, guys, but you still have to buy. You can only get so much per month. It only comes out monthly. And you still have to buy the gold pass and the silver pass to have this stuff unlocked. And then you still have to pay 100,000 gems to speed the process up by making this bar here, complete that bar there. But you still have to buy a ton of these tombs, archaic tombs, for the research. So it's still a big problem with this, and so that's still a big problem. So the IGG did this. It does help the lower spender, and it somewhat helps the free to play a little bit, not too much. But they did that as a means to help a little bit. So after that, IGG, they also did the Verge, as you see right here, which gives stats too. So when you look at stuff like this, when you look at stats like this, come on, hurry up. And I apologize, guys. I would have liked to made the video where you could see it just on my phone, but like I said, the two were not compatible, and I didn't want to try to stop this video, edit it, turn it the right way, and then add the other one because I felt like I might run into the same mistake I did the first time, and I didn't mean to go out of there. I'm going to go back in there. I didn't go all the way out. But let's go and let's look at some of the stats that this gives. So this gives you stats as well. Let's look at the terse boosts and stuff like that. So you actually get a chance to get some HP, range HP, infantry defense. You get cavalry defense in this particular tower there. That's a tower. Let's look at some of the leaders or your squads, the terse boost that they give. This one is just range HP, cavalry attack at the bottom there. So there you have that. So when you look at the overall contribution that these stats here, these attributes or these boosts give, along with artifacts, it makes the maxed out account, not to mention with all of the castle skins, all of that type of stuff, it makes it just like crazy, guys. Like as I said, they're going from hitting to where it used to be you were a beast if you're hitting with 1,000 attack skills or boosts or whatever, to a point where now if you're hitting 2,000, 2,200, 2,400. All these little numbers just add up. So I'm looking for here, crafting. So all those little things add up, and so it makes for a much more powerful castle. And in that, as I said, that in no wise benefits the uh, pay to play player. It just makes the pay to play player all the more weaker. And so my prediction is they're definitely coming out. As we said, they have already come out with. Let's use this here. Let's use this, guys, because I haven't. That's few. My prediction is the next updates are going to be. Well, let's go back first. Let's go back first. My prediction is this: they're not only going to do the familiars, they're also going to do. They're going to come out with another gear. Just following trend. So they're going to come out with another gear. Say, as you know, all the gear starts from common to uncommon to rare, epic, gold, mythic. I believe they're going to come out with a platinum or a diamond gear. I think that's going to be the next update. And keep in mind, all that does is work to make more boosts. Because as you can see, the power that you get from this being, it benefits you nothing to have this, to have a champ piece. Silver. Silver is a metal, but it's not as precious as gold, and is definitely not as precious as diamond or platinum. So I believe IGG is going to, they already have the diamond store. I believe they're going to come out with a diamond gear or a platinum gear. And maybe they may have both. So owning a champ piece in its base stat of silver does you nothing at all. Nothing. You could have a complete full all the champ pieces in silver, you would be nothing. So it only really pays off when you get it to be honest, to gold, and then to mythic, and when they make it to where it's now platinum and then diamond, or either vice versa. Either way, that can probably change this. I would predict that they'll have it the infantry. The infantry could be, if it's 35 now, I believe it'll take up not a 10%, it'll go up 15% more. So from 35 to probably 50. And of course that's going to require some stuff. And then, like I said, the other thing they're doing is they already came up with a way to put astrolites in your gear, jewels in your gear. So one of the things IGG I think they're going to do is also you can put astrolites in there right now, and so that was one of the updates that they had then. So I'm looking for updates to not just be familiars, where IGG was behind on that because it was already games out there that had familiar type creatures or things that would accompany the army with the hero and the leader to add more boosts or more power once you get it to a dose stage. So I think IGG, the next update that we're looking for more familiars, we're looking for more gear, we're looking for whatever's going to pacify and encourage more spending for the pay-to-play players, because it's all about IGG making money. This is the developers. They got to pay the developers, which I don't think the developers know what the hell they're doing, because we can see in the Coliseum, their programming, their math is incorrect. And it's just like Duck Hunter's video that he came out with when and I want to use that video. I've said it before in the last video. I'm going to use that video a little bit at some point to show you guys, even when you're experienced like Duck Hunter is at being a rally trap, sometimes you can just be in the wrong phalanx, or you can think you're in the wrong phalanx, or you can think you're in the right phalanx and not get the right results that you were looking for. So, and I think because it's all about IGG's math, because one thing we all know is in the Coliseum, one thing about in the Coliseum, it's like it's not really based off the army you select. Like, let's select the army from here. Now I know for him, what really happens, what's really works really good against him is two heroes. One is going to be her, or the other one can be her, which is I don't know, she is Shadow. No, she's not Shadow, but Petite, Devil, and this one here, Storm, whatever. Forgot her name. I forgot this hero's name. But so when you look at it like that, let's try this right here. I think that's a good setup. So that's a pretty good setup to me. But normally I have either or. I don't have both. I don't have this one and Petite Devil in there, because it normally causes him to attack Tikva Devil, and whereas the other one can do a condition. So, like I said, I don't think the developers got it right in the arena Coliseum. I don't think they got it right also when it comes to conflict or battles in the forts or in rallies and in rally trapping. I don't think they really have the math. I don't think these are the best developers or the best people qualified or capable, should I say capable, of such a big investing game to come up with these stats and these programs and the algorithms and things like that, the math in it, the computer programming. So to me, I don't think, because it just shows in the Coliseum and it shows in battles. But so my prediction is, like I said, they're going to come out with the updates, gear, more research, familiar talent, army talents, and whatever it is, it will be a update that has to do with pacifying the rich, the real pay to players, those up there. And like I said, if you think people are hitting, you think these maxed out accounts are hitting, with if we think these maxed out accounts are hitting with the next update is going to be towards them, guys. If you think they're hitting now with 22 and attack stats and stuff like that, incoming and all that, and if you think they're hitting hard now, they're going to hit even much more harder now later on. And like I said, that has nothing to do with the castles that they're hitting now are not getting stronger at the same rate as the upper level rally leads or stuff are getting stronger. So it's not a balance there. And so, I mean, like I said, you think their stats are big now, they're going to really get big when the next update comes, and it makes it all the more harder for if a rally trap or a castle is taking the rallies now, they can eat them now. It's going to be even worse. They won't be able to take the same rallies in the upcoming whenever it may be. They won't be able to take the rallies that's coming. Let me rephrase that. A lot of the rally traps are barely getting away now. And I think with the new update that's coming, and with the new boost, and with the rally traps and the players that are lower level players and lower pay to play players who aren't able to update and advance and max out, it's not even close as fast as the big boys, the max players. If you think they're hitting now, it's going to be harder to take those rallies on the next update, because it's really, if you think the game is lopsided now, it's really going to be topsy turvy or whatever they call that little name that they use. But it's going to be really bad. So yeah, so look out for it's coming. We've been at our 4-year, 5-year mark now, and that update is coming, and it's for the rich. So it's going to deal with gear, I believe. It's going to deal with those army familiars talents, bringing out that, because everybody's expecting that, because Grim Reaper's probably going to be a beast. And Tendo and all those other ones who don't have an army talent. And I believe it's going to be with gear, and it's going to be something else. And it's going to be really strong, and it's going to require a lot for people like you and me, who are the lower people, if you're pay to play or free to play, to get that. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the channel again. Thanks for subscribing. Give me your comments, man. This is a good topic, man. And ain't nothing we can do about it, because it's a business. I mean, IGG is going to do what is promote sales, and that's what they're going to do. So I'm out. Appreciate your viewing. Thanks for commenting. I'm out.